Welcome to the first video of this channel. Oh, it's supposed to be the second video according to my plans, but oh well. I want to thank you so much for supporting me by watching this video, and I really hope you enjoy my content. Anyways, let's end the intro and head over to the clay desk. Welcome to the clay desk. In order to actually start making Hollow Knight, we need to start off with a block of black clay. We cut off some pieces from it so that we can use it for the arms and legs later. The main body of Buggy Boi is basically a fat cylinder. We roll the clay into a ball and then we slow extend it into a short oval. We then use the desk to flatten the top of the body so that it's easier to attach the head later on. We continue to shape the body a little bit more so that it looks just a little bit more like Hollow Knight. Now, we roll up the clay that we cut off earlier, and we cut the ball in half. We then take the two halves, make them into little balls, and then compare the sizes. After that, we take the two balls and roll them into the shape of the legs. The two legs look good to go. We then extend the legs a little bit since they'll be squished when we try to attach them to the body. I have a small confession to make. I actually haven't finished Hollow Knight. Before you start writing death threats about how I haven't finished such an amazing game, just hear me out real quick. I absolutely love Hollow Knight. I mean, that's why I'm creating this video, but even though I suck at the game, I absolutely love how fun it is, and the art style is just absolutely gorgeous. And don't even get me started on the soundtrack. It is so freaking good. I absolutely love it. I want to play the soundtrack right now, but I don't want to take any chances with the copyright hammer, especially with how often copyright strikes have been happening on YouTube recently. Let's head back to the clay again. To help blend the legs with the body, I add just a little bit of clay to help fill up the missing space so that it looks more natural. While we were blending the legs, they got really close to each other, so we had to spread them out to make sure that Hollow Knight still has his thigh gap. We then use the desk to flatten the feet on our Buggy Boi so that he can, hopefully, stand on his own. So we continue on blending the legs with the body so that they look nice and clean and not like two little cylinders on a fat cylinder. But this time, we're staying on top of keeping that thigh gap. Mr. Bug looks pretty good so far, just need to do a few more adjustments, along with a few more. We finally finished the main body. Nice. In order to allow our Hollow Knight to bravely fight off enemies, he needs to at least have arms. Here we cut the ball in half to try and get identical sides. There's a bit too much clay for the arms, so we have to get smaller pieces so they look better. And that looks pretty good. So now we have to make sure that the other arm looks about the same so that they appear identical on the body. Those actually look pretty close, surprisingly. Now we simply attach the arms to the body. We'll do a little bit of blending for them, but there's no need since they'll be mostly covered anyways. Before we continue, we gotta the top in order to make sure that it's nice and flat. Now it's time for some horrible editing. Wow, look at that train wreck. just like the editing, this clay concoction we created also sucked. So we kept trying to roll out this clay over and over on the desk, but eventually we gave up and got some wax paper. So you'd think that the clay would cooperate this time, right? Right? No, of course not. So then I had to come up with a brilliant idea. More clay! Now we finally got clay that liked us. When in doubt, use more clay. Finally, we were actually able to get the size we wanted through rolling out this extra clay multiple times. As we're rolling out this clay, you can very clearly see how sticky this clay actually is. The time has come. Time to... what the? Go clean that sword. Clay people, am I right? Now that we actually have a clean sword, we can finally cut out Buggy Boi's cloak thingy. I know what you're wondering. What's with the weird cuts? Well, the answer is surprisingly simple. It's so that I can have unique content. No, it's because we don't want to cut the desk. And also, this is the Captain Wolf anti-desk cut method. I wasn't really able to find any pictures of Mr. Bug from behind or the back of his cloak thingy, so I just improvised on what we should do for it. My best guess to what his cloak thing, like I don't even know the name for it, is that they're just long strands of fabric that like go whoosh and like create something that resembles a cloak, but I'm not really sure on what it looks like. You know, maybe it's explained at the end of the game where like a developer was like, oh, it exactly looks like this, and this is exactly what it's made of. I mean, like, I've barely gotten through the game, so I have not found anything so far in the game that tells me what he even is. I've just heard that he's a Buggy Boi. Currently, I'm at the place where you see the clear jellyfish thingies that have like the orange circle inside of them. I think that's in Fog Canyon. I'm not quite sure. Yeah, I'm not really far into the game at all. I've gone against 2 bosses, I think. Spoiler alert, but not really since the beginning of the game. But Hornet is so cool. Like, her fight felt very unique, and I just had so much fun playing it, even though I died multiple times. As a matter of fact, I'm actually listening to the fight music as I'm writing the script. It's definitely my favorite song so far in the game. You know what? If this video gets 6 likes, the same number of letters in Hornet, I will eventually make a Hornet video. Fine then, Mr. Bug. Sorry for talking about Hornet so much when this video is clearly about you. To match Buggy Boi's big ego, he needs a big head. For the eyes, we make the sockets in the head first before we actually make the eyeball itself. We use the largest ball modeling tool that we have in order to get the smoothest socket we can. So the head looks pretty good thus far. Now it's time to finish Hollow Knight's iconic look. Quick question, is the like stick thingies on his head horns, or are they like pinchers? Because, you know, he's a bug. I'd love to actually know what they are. I hope that they're actually pinchers, because it'd be so cool if you could actually use them as a weapon. Like an enemy comes at you and you just grab them with the pinchers and they're just like, what the heck? Because they never expected it. They thought it was horns, not pinchers. So now that Buggy Boi's most OP weapons are basically the same size on both sides, it's time to blend them into the head. Now correct me if I'm wrong, but is his head his skeleton? Stop it. Back to what I was saying before I was rudely interrupted. Is his skeleton like his exoskeleton, or maybe is it just his skull? I don't know. I think it'd be cool either way. Now, we try to bring the head back to its original shape, and by reshaping the sockets. Now just a few more, and Buggy Boi is now ready for some eyes. My very unique and somewhat questionable method for creating the eyes starts with clay, specifically a little bit of clay. We do the cut sphere in half move in order to get pretty similar eye sizes, and then we stick the clay right in the socket. The trick is to keep hitting it until it looks fine, which only happens sometimes, as you can see here. Anyways, now it's time to attach Buggy Boi's head to the body, unless of course you want to create a headless hollow bin. We do a little DQ flip, hoping that I don't have to give Buggy Boi out for free. After all of this work, we still have to go over all of the lines we cut in the cloak thingy earlier, but it's easier now because there's pre-cut lines, yet I still managed to mess up. I do eventually just give up on the lines altogether though. Mr. Bug would not be complete if he did not have his trusty nail.
Again.
As you can see, Buggy Boi is throwing a fit because he is impatient and doesn't have his nail yet. I noticed that there's these weird cracks on the nail and I wonder what they're from. Maybe he swings it with just such power that it breaks a little time every time he uses it? Or maybe he has to use different weapons like Link in Breath of the Wild and the only weapon he currently has is a nail. I just find it so funny though that he just smacks enemies with a nail and they just die. I can't imagine how embarrassing that must be to die from a nail smack. Ooh, here comes the saucer that will take Buggy Boi away to the mysterious Oven system. And away he goes. And he's back. He survived. Wow, he really is Hollow Knight. To ensure that he keeps his trusty nail with him forever, we add just a little bit of glue. We then gently hold the nail in place until the glue dries, and then he's finished! Our very own clay Buggy Boi from Hollow Knight. Thank you for reaching the end of the tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it. I would really appreciate it if you would leave a like and a comment so that you can help our channel grow. If you want to watch more of these tutorials, hit the subscribe button and the bell icon so that you don't miss an upload. And remember, be kind and have fun.